Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Hello everyone, this is Angel from Have Faith, Let It Begin. Little programming note, Sunday, July 19th, Sunday, July 26th at 10 a.m. on a Sunday, I will be once again delivering 2 messages at the church that I attend, First Reformed Church. This will be broadcast on a simulcast on Facebook Live. In addition, will be also broadcast on this platform. We hope that you will be joining us. We hope that you will take part in a special 2-part message. This has never been done before. I've never done this before. I've never done 2 Sundays back to back. It's a great challenge, and I'm looking forward to delivering the message. For those of you right now that are getting ready for another episode of Have Faith, Let It Begin, let's get ready for the Crazy Date story. And it's Crazy Date Part 8. Have Faith, Let It Begin starts right now.
10 seconds to go.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for everything you're doing. Lord, continue to be with our thoughts and my prayers.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
On June 16th, 2018, a show designed for you, the Daily Commuter, went live. A weekly show all about faith. A show with motivational topics, inspirational stories, and personal testimony set out to change the world.
Don't you see that your faith is coming alive? Don't you see that it's tested every time? He's the one that makes your life divine. He's the one that makes you feel fine. Your faith's being tested.
Hi, I am Mia. You're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hello, my name is Amari, and today we are back on another episode of Have Faith and Let's Begin. Hi, my name is Isabella, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hey, this is Freddie, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Hi, my name is Angela, and you're listening to Have Faith, Let It Begin.
Welcome to Have Faith. Let It Begin. Here's your host, Angel Santana.
Broadcasting live worldwide.
Crazy Date story number 8 starts right now. As many of you remembered Crazy Date 7, I was on a date. I went to my former employer because I figured it was the best atmosphere. I worked at TGIF Fridays as a server, and I decided to bring this specific date there because I felt like the environment would be in my favor. People know me. They can talk about me, make me look good. Unfortunately, on this particular date, the young girl, after having appetizers and ordering the meal, decided to excuse herself to the bathroom and never returned. So, at that moment, a server who I'd worked with and was kind of, friendly with, sat down next to me and basically started to tell me that she was a little bit offended that, not offended, but she was a little hurt to see me on a date. And I said, why would you feel that way? And she had told me that she had a crush on me. So, that's where I left you on a cliffhanger. I said, that's where I thought that the next chapter was going to be good. So let's continue the story from there. So, after that night was over, she actually walked me to my car. She gave me a kiss on the cheek and said, I really look forward to being with you on a date. So, we obviously set up a date in progress, in motion, I should say. We met up about a week later, and we decided to, she invited me over to the house to pick her up. And as I pulled up to the driveway, I went into the house, and she actually asked me to come into the house. I met her mom, her dad, her little brother, and it was a really cool atmosphere. She actually brought me there, and we actually ate dinner at her house. It was a little bit weird, I'll be honest, because that's something I would have done, but I was to the point now where I was like, maybe I shouldn't do all those things because I felt as if I was moving too fast. Remember, I was looking for a wife. I wasn't looking for a girlfriend. I think I was looking for a wife. I was looking for that, long-term relationship, and you can't do that on the first date, on the second date, on the third date, but that's where my mindset was at. So here she is inviting me into her home, and I'm eating dinner on our first, basically, I haven't officially started the date with her family. It was really awkward at first, but very, very, very fun. Her family was very, very hip, very cool. That's his only daughter, and he was very, very. I want to say he was strict. He was cautious. I guess she had gotten, at the time I found out that she had just been, she's been off of a serious relationship of 2 years, but it had been about 6 to 8 months and since the breakup, and he didn't want to see her going through that. And I was a little older than her. I think I was older by about 4 or 5 years. So I was about 25, so she was about 20, 21 years old at the time. And after the dinner was over, it happened to be on a weekend, I should say, and we decided to go to what they call the Providence Fire, water fire, excuse me. So we went to the water fire. She was asking me questions prior to this and saying, I want to do something you've never done. I don't want to go to a restaurant. I don't want to go to a movie. I want to do something totally different. So, I told her that I had been to the water fire, but only in passing. I never actually went to the water fire. So we went to the water fire. We had a great time. We sat down. We listened to some jazz music, and we just talked, and it was very, very good. It got to the point now where we were trying to figure out what to do, and believe it or not, we decided to actually go to a movie, even though it was something that I had planned, but I never went through, because remember the last time we talked about the date, I went to the theater. I only lasted the theater about 35, 40 seconds. So we went to the movies, and everything was going so well. I mean, there's nothing I can tell you that was negative. But one thing that continued to linger throughout this date was I kept checking my upper lip. I kept checking my breath, because I felt as if I smelled bad breath or some type of odor. I couldn't figure out what it was, and I was trying to figure out where it was coming from. I mean, I literally put maybe like 5 pieces of gum in and out of my mouth. I mean, I would put a new gum in, chew it, spit it out later, without her noticing, and then put a new one in. I'm thinking, what did I eat? And I just couldn't figure it out. So we go to the theater. We're in the theater, and we're watching the movie, and we're having a great time. It was a comedy. I don't remember the name of the movie. At one point, she actually was very cute. She leaned over and she put her head on my shoulder, and I thought that was it was very nice. And so I put my head on hers, and all of a sudden I started to smell this lingering odor, and I couldn't figure out what it was. So I just tried to, it would come and go. So I sat through it. The movie was over. After the movies, almost everybody has to go to the restroom. So we went to we each went to each other's restrooms, and when she came out, she asked for my hand, and we held hands. We got into the car, and we got into the car, and as soon as we got in the car, it was a little bit muggy out. We put the air conditioning on, and I could smell this lingering odor again. And I said, I asked her, do you smell that? And she's like, no. And I said, okay. I said, do I have bad breath? I says, please tell me. And she's like, no, let me see. And it was slick, because when she said that, she actually got close enough to sneak in a kiss. When she sneaked in the kiss, that's when I figured out where the odor was. It was actually coming from her. Now, let me stop real quick, okay? I am in no means trying to make fun of this young lady, by any means. We are still friends to this day. So, I just want to stop and make sure you're aware of that. It is kind of funny, but this is not intended to make fun of her. And she's aware that I'm putting this episode on. So back to the story. I was like, whoa, that doesn't smell too good. But, listen, we all have bad days, right? We all have bad breath days. It's happened. So, no big deal, no harm, no foul. No pun intended. I gave her, asked her if she wanted some gum. And she's like, oh, do I have bad breath? And, of course, being the gentleman that I am, I was like, no, you're good. Because I'm thinking, it doesn't matter. When she puts the gum in her mouth, it's okay. we went to the next destination, we went and got ice cream, and the smell got worse. And I just couldn't figure out what was the problem. So I figured, no big deal. One date became 2 dates. On the second date, it was a better date, but toward the middle of the date, the smell came back. On the third date, it was from the minute she got in the car. And I was like, oh my God, I really like this girl, but I can't take it anymore. I just can't take it. So finally, I decided to part ways. I didn't take into consideration that it was an actual issue that she had. And, you know, it was acid reflux. And finally, when I did have the decency to ask her, to tell her, you know, why. And she, you know, she wasn't hurt by it, but she never understood why, I guess, previous relationships, she felt as if maybe that was the reason, and nobody had ever told her. And quite honestly, even though I liked her, I didn't feel as if that was the girl for me. We had gotten past that friends line, and I just didn't feel it. I didn't feel the connection. Obviously, yes, that didn't help with the breath. I'm not going to lie. I'd be lying. But ultimately, there is a happy ending to this story. So it's kind of like a weird, crazy date story. She eventually did seek help, and it got better. The next gentleman that she started to date is the one that she married. And she's happily married to this day with, I believe it's 3 kids or 4 kids, all girls. And to this day, every chance we meet up, she always says, can you smell that? on my cell phone. I'll be like, no, I can't smell that. But that's the crazy date story. But there's a message here, guys. There is. We can't control everything. There are some things that are in our control, some things that are out of our control. One of the lessons that I believe I learned on that date, and I grew from that date, was I was honest with her. That I was completely honest with her. I made sure that I told her exactly how I felt. That I told her what was wrong. And honesty is a very hard thing to find these days. And also to be honest, the fact that she trusted me with the information and was patient with me and didn't react meant that I built a good enough foundation with her, a good enough friendship with her, that she could take that feedback. But it's all about the approach. It's all about how we deliver our message. Can we do that? Can we be honest with each other? Can we share in our good fortunes with each other? Can we share our secrets with people that we trust? That's something that we should think about. And that's today's episode of Crazy Date number 8. Next time we talk, there'll be something else. Something that really gets to the point where I have a nervous breakdown. Oh yeah, Crazy Date number 9 is next Thursday. You don't want to miss that one. That one puts me in a meltdown. That's going to be interesting. Talk to you tomorrow on Friday, folks. Have faith. Let it begin.
Don't you see that your faith is coming